spiritual oppression? Is it possible to follow European Christianity and also be spiritually liberated? Are they even mutually exclusive? What advice do you have in regards to basically our spiritual liberation? Thank you.
Okay, good
Thank
question.
you.
Good question. So I'll refer to what Dr. John Henry Clark often said, that if you are an African person and you choose to be a Christian, then find the Africanness within Christianity. If you're an African person and you choose to be a Muslim, then find the African roots of Islam and be true to that. My perspective is that personally, I don't see how it's possible to follow the same religious traditions of the same people who stole my ancestors and enslaved my ancestors in the name of their God, and who continue to oppress us. If Christians were true to their 10 Commandments, then we would be having this conversation under a mango tree in Africa right now.
I want to stop it right there, deal with that first piece of it. The question is, like I said, the whole theme, can we find liberation through religion? And specifically, because she was talking specifically about Christianity. So we're going to deal with that right now. He's going to expand as we go, but we're going to deal with that right now. Specifically, the Christianity, especially the Christianity that was given to us through slavery. Can black people in the West, or believe in black people in America, to be more specific, find liberation through religion? I'm along the same page of Dr. Browder. I don't think this modern form, or this form of Christianity that we have, that was given to us, that we've adopted and passed down from generations to generations. I don't think the way we consume it is fruitful enough to produce liberation. Now, as I'm saying that, as I was about to say, overall, I don't think it could lead to liberation. I did think about Nat Turner. So that's one thing I am thinking about, because Nat Turner was once he got a chance to read the Bible for himself, he said he was inspired by God to rebel. And so now that's one example. And I know there are some other examples of people who through religion was inspired to lead rebellions. But overall, in this form of Christianity, the way we practice Christianity today in 2022, I don't believe we can find liberation as black people in America through the way black people worship today. Because one of the continuous actions that we do see from black people who follow Christianity in this modern form of Christianity is people being docile, people being overly forgiving, people finding a way to make excuses or to try to turn the other cheek to your enemy, to your oppressors, to somebody that's continuing to put their foot on your neck, to somebody continuing to put their foot in your ass. And so what I'm seeing from these communities, and what I'm seeing from these people specifically who follow Christianity in 20 and especially nowadays, is the way black people are practicing their religion. I'm not seeing how somebody will come out of that with a mindset, or even with energy or willpower to uplift the entire race, because it seems like they're gonna, from the actions that people keep displaying, it seems like they're gonna find a way to make excuses for white people, or forgive white people for what they're doing, and try to be on this brotherhood, sisterhood thing, and find that one piece of the things that Dr. King said to bring everybody together. So I just don't think we can. Basically, what I'm saying. So, what you think, PC?
Well, it's funny, right? Because when you mentioned that, I thought back to Dylan Roof. When Dylan Roof went to the church, and a church in South Carolina in Charleston, and shot up all the parishioners, including the pastor. I can't recall the pastor's name right now, but that pastor was practicing he was preaching in the church that Denmark Vesey founded, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you go back to Denmark Vesey, he was a liberator for Black people during the time of slavery, fresh off the Haitian Revolution, ironically, right? So they had a term called Black Liberation Theology, where it took different rebellions in the Bible and utilized it towards incentivizing Black people to seek their freedom through that particular purpose. So I agree with the initial understanding that Dr. Browder spoke on in terms of this current way, because I believe he's referring to the current way that most Black people practice Christianity.
Right.
Right. So in that respect, no. if that's the case, but if you're talking about looking for a liberation theology, you could use the Bible for that purpose, but that's not the way the Black church has been set up. The Black church has always been set up for Black people to be obedient and for Black people to see themselves as being submissive to white authority. And even for it's only within the last like 50 years that Black people even identified with the possibility that the figure Jesus Christ that's been labeled as the Savior in the Bible actually had African origins and would accept the Black picture of him. And if you can't see God in your image and you see God through the image of your oppressor, then rebelling against your oppression is akin to rebelling against God. In regards to just the psychological twist that it plays, the subconscious and the cognitive dissonance that it places in us. So that's pretty much I want to go. I wanted to go in a totally different direction, but we'd be talking for another hour if I spoke on that. But I do think that, so going back to the African origins, yeah, if you go back to the African origins of Christianity, then yeah, but not this current way that, Black people celebrate this whole notion of Christianity. I get tired of seeing old movies or television shows that refer to Black people dealing with either Jim Crow or Black people in bondage and chains. And there's this ceremony, this cinematic moment where they all start humming and singing as though that's going to be what's the power of the Black spirit is through song and through all these other, meaningless and nonviolent measures to deal with, whatever punishments that they're going through or dealing with at that time. So,
Yeah.
I digress.
About you, Pat?
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I'm big on like terminology, precision of language, and stuff like that.
Let's get it, Technical Ted. I was hoping Technical Ted show up tonight. Let's do it.
Well, I would just say this isn't, because we oftentimes say Black people in America are subscribed to European Christianity, and that's not exactly true. European Christianity are those people that stormed the White House after they believed Donald Trump had the election stolen from them. European Christianity are those people that believe that Black people should still be in bondage and enslaved, and there's a moral righteousness even amongst those people on the left that practice European Christianity and the self-righteousness of their cause, heaven's mandate, things like that. That's European Christianity. We don't practice that. We never got that. What we got was Black slave Christianity. And that's what we're moving forward with. And those are two different animals. And I feel like we do it. We really miss the boat when we keep saying that, because it draws this connection, this illogical and erroneous connection between what we believe and what white people believe. And then we get into these debates about saying things like, well, we keep doing what the white people do. No, we don't. We're not doing what they do at all. Not even remotely close. But I agree with PC and with Dr. Browder said. Is he Dr. Browder?
Yeah.
Gonna be tonight.
Yeah.
I agree with what they both said with regards to finding the root of it. And for me, you don't even have to dig that deep. Just open the fucking book and read it. Like the Bible has a number of things right there in the text. One of the ones that I love is I believe it's in the book of Matthew. It talks about getting the plank out of your own eye so that you can see clearly to remove the plank out of your brother's eye, which to me, that is amazing, because as we combat racism, PC and I was having this conversation earlier today. Black people have a strong affinity for implicit bias and negative reactions to other Black people, even in the pro-Black community. And one of the reasons why I think we struggle with dealing with the shit is because people think accepting Black people as being great at some point in history is all the work that's required to remove the negative stereotypes that have been ingrained in you. So we can't even see racism and the challenges we're facing clearly, because we don't realize that our vision is still clouded by the very racism that we fighting. So you know what I'm saying? So you get in the conversation, there are tons of things right there in the book that if we just opened it up and read it with the proper well, first off, just open it up and read it. Let's start there, right? Because too many Black Christians have not even read the Bible. I can't tell you how many times I'm talking to Christians and I mentioned what I thought was a widely known and common parable of Job, the story of Job. And they like, well, that's that in the Bible. It's a whole book dedicated to it, man. Wow. So, so let's just start with reading the book, right? And then you go into it with a mindset of, as a Black person in America, what can I pull out of it? I mean, I treat the Bible just like I treat any other book. What can I get out of this? But I agree with you as well, Joe. Everybody's pretty much in agreement. If we continue to practice Christianity the way we're practicing it right now, which is not Christianity, in my opinion, it's some sort of weird ass KY jelly lubricated bend over ass cheek spread and invite them in type of worship behavior. As long as we continue to do that, then no, it's not. It's not possible. It's not possible.
I mean, how can you worship in a way that allows you to invite the devil into your house? Because Dylan Roof is just one of many situations where Black people invited white folk or allowed white folk to cross the threshold, and they did harm to Black people in the house of God.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a doctrine of forgiveness to white people. It's a doctrine of matter of fact, it's a doctrine of forgiveness to everybody who is not Black.
Yeah, and just one more thing real quick too, because I think, Pat, you brought up something real important. Black people don't read the Bible in the church. They go by the passages that are told to them for each particular sermon, which skips and hops and jumps all over the Bible, which is just as though it was on the plantation. And it tells Black people to be just as docile now as it told Black people to be docile back then. It doesn't serve any purpose except to build up the church and the church fund and all that other stuff, but it runs off anybody that has a spirit to stand up to, the atrocities that Black people face on a day-to-day basis.
I'm not saying this is 100%, but when's the last time you've seen, especially Black church religious leaders, leading people or standing up for what's right, or standing up for Black people, standing up against white supremacy and risking all their benefits to stand up against white supremacy?
April 4th, 1968, the day Martin Luther King was assassinated.
Say that date again.
April 4th, 1968,
okay.
The day Martin Luther King was assassinated.
All right, let's keep moving. Yeah.
Thou shalt not steal, huh? They stole over 100 million people. So let's be clear, since you said that we are at war and religion is a tool of war. Christianity is a religion that has murdered millions and millions of people over thousands of years. Islam is also guilty of murdering millions and millions of people. So I have a problem with that. I have a problem with people coming into my home and enslaving my people simply because we call the Creator by a different name. I feel very seriously that every people have the right to identify with the Creator is seen through their own cultural lens, and nobody has the right to come into your home and destroy you, enslave you, simply because you call the Creator by a different name. So one's relationship with your Creator should be reflected in the quality of your life.
Okay, so I hear what he's saying. In ideal practice, yes, your behavior, your morals, how you see the world, how you treat people should be aligned with the Creator that you serve. In an idealistic world, but in the world we live in, because when he's saying that, I'm just thinking about the difference in ideologies when it comes to the actual practice of religion, from people who are terrorists and conquerors, and from people who have been conquered. Uh, I think I hear what he's saying, and I don't disagree. But I think once again, the experiences that we've had versus the experiences that white people have had. White people don't view or use religion the same way we do.
Right.
They don't give a damn about that moral stuff. Because if they, once again, like he just said, if morals really matter, if all that we're trying to make it to eternity stuff really mattered, we wouldn't be here.